Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Alexi, where we dive deep and work on that self-love early in the morning. It is currently 7:20, and I do want to say thank you guys for being here this morning, or if you're here in the afternoon or the evening, whenever. Doing this really gives me a reason to wake up early, and it really makes me excited to get out of bed. So I just want to say thank you to those of you who have participated thus far. I'm extremely grateful for you. Today I want to talk about self-care. Our prompt for this morning is, how do you prioritize self-care? So for a long time I didn't prioritize self-care. I thought I was, right, because I was going to the gym and I was eating healthy. But that fitness for me, when I was doing it when I first started in my early 20s, I wasn't doing fitness for self-care. I was doing it for self-hate. That's one of the biggest differences that I've found in fitness over the last couple of years. For a majority of my fitness journey, I've been doing it to be thin, to be the smallest, skinniest version of myself. That's not self-care. So if you're going into the gym and you're doing something you hate because you want your body to change or you want it to be different, that to me isn't self-care. I started to prioritize self-care when I started to really understand what it really means to love yourself. And I will be talking about my self-love journey at some point. That's going to be kind of a longer video, but it's definitely been a harder journey for me, right? And something that I didn't really understand, right? I didn't really understand that I didn't love myself for a majority of my life. Like, I knew I needed to love myself, but I didn't know what that meant. Maybe I'll take you through a day of what self-care would look like to me throughout the day. And this is completely different, like based on where I am in my menstrual cycle. And paying attention to my menstrual cycle has become a huge part of self-care for me. My brain is very sensitive to the fluctuations within my body throughout my menstrual cycle. So after ovulation, my energy plummets. Not only my energy, but like my happiness level. I get depressed, I get anxious. It's a bit of a roller coaster. I have PMDD, and I have talked about that in another video, and I will actually link that in the description if anyone is interested in learning about that. But a big part of self-care for me is paying attention to where I'm at in my menstrual cycle and giving my body what it needs in those moments. I'm waking up this morning feeling a lot more tired, so there's a good chance that I'm on the back end of ovulation. So I wake up in the morning and the first thing that I do is drink a cup of coffee. And I know a lot of people are gonna say coffee on an empty stomach is so not good for those cortisol levels, but my friends, this is self-care for me, okay? It helps me with the morning poops, and I need it. I don't work too hard on my appearance, and that's another aspect of self-care for me. So I wake up in the morning, if I'm feeling like I need to wash my hair or take a shower, I will. I put on whatever feels comfortable for the day, and I head out the door. I'm lucky in that if I'm having a bad day, like if my mental health is low, I can call in and I can say, I'm having a bad mental health day. I'm not coming into work today. That is something that I'm very privileged to have, and I know that. My boss is an angel, and I don't know how I got so lucky to have her. But one of the things that I really value when it comes to self-care is knowing when you're having a bad day and allowing yourself to have a bad day. That's one way that I prioritize self-care, is paying attention to how I'm feeling and allowing myself to feel bad if I need to. I don't force myself to exercise on the bad days. Exercise is a really important part of my self-care. Mostly if I'm on the upside of the cycle. I'm going into the gym every day after work. I'm going into the sauna. I'm really prioritizing that. But on the downside of my cycle, I'm not really prioritizing that. I'm more prioritizing, like, do I need to take a nap? Do I need to sleep? Do I need to go home and cuddle with the cat when I get home? You know, a lot of people think of self-care as taking a bath or doing a face mask, right? And this is because of capitalism, honestly, right? Because they can market things to us, right? If self-care is bubble baths, you need your bubbles. If self-care is face masks, you need your face masks. So it's important that we draw this distinction and the line between what our soul needs and what society has told us we need to be. And society promotes buying yourself the new makeup and going and get your nails done and get your hair done as self-care. But that's not self-care to me. To me, that is keeping up with the Kardashians, keeping up with the expectations that society place on us to be a specific person and exist in a certain way. Self-care to me is that like deep soul understanding and knowing and providing your mind and your body and your heart with what it needs. That's what self-care looks like to me. And self-care really comes down to an awareness and a tuning inward to listen, to hear what's needed. Self-care can look like you're fighting with your husband. You let him know that you need to talk about it. Holding your emotions inside and not sharing those with people, holding on to pain and not releasing it, right? That's not self-care. Self-care is, why am I hurting? What do I need to hear right now in my own body? What is causing me pain? And sometimes you can't see it, sometimes you can't feel it, right? Because you're so disconnected, because you've completely removed yourself from your emotions and how you're feeling. And that's why I think stuff like this is so valuable, right? Like journaling or like a video journal like I'm doing with you guys, because it allows you to really feel and understand yourself and really know what's going on with you. Because those pent up feelings and those emotions that you push to the side, when you abandon yourself, and that's really what you're doing when you're disregarding how you feel, when you're, I'm having a bad day, but I'm just gonna put on a smile and I'm gonna, ignore how I'm feeling. You're abandoning yourself. And that self-abandonment leaves scars every single time. In some aspects throughout our lives, we've all had to abandon ourselves. I have, you have, it happens. Once you become aware of that, and once you know that I abandoned myself in that situation, let me feel that for my past self, understand what happened to her, make her feel better, and let it go. Listen to her in this moment, let it go. And heal those past scars. That's the deepest, most beautiful form of self-love. And then moving forward, try not to allow those scars to happen. Try not to allow that self-abandonment to happen. This is a learning process. Obviously, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. There are still moments in my life that I do abandon myself because I don't know any better. And you try in each moment to not do something that would hurt you. But in the moment, like, there's so many other things that are happening and there's so many emotions you're feeling and you don't really know what it is that you need. Take deep breaths, take a minute. Claire and I were having an argument the other night. And I said, for the first time in a fight, because I think that we're learning how to argue, right? Because all couples argue, but we didn't argue for the first year of our relationship. And then all of a sudden it's like, all this stuff is coming out. And I said, I need a minute. Can I just take 5 minutes, breathe, and let's come back to this? And that's what we did. And we came back and we actually were so much better at dealing with what was happening in that moment. So yeah, I don't know if I have like normal perspective on self-care, but self-care to me looks like diving deep, really taking the time to know yourself, know what you need, and prioritize your emotions and giving them the space to speak to you. That's like the highest level of self-care in my personal opinion. And then every once in a while it is a bubble bath. A huge part of my self-care is going to the gym and sitting in the sauna and then going and putting my feet in the hot tub and just sitting there. This is self-care for me. Working on this channel is self-care for me. And it doesn't always have to be that deep, grueling soul work. But I think that if you're ignoring that, that's not self-care. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Remember to put something down in the comments. If this sparked anything for you, I would love to know about it. Smash that like button, and I will see you guys next time.